Question number 1. How do you define leadership?
As for me, leadership is something we cannot define in just a single snap, for it means different things to different people around the world and different things to different situations. Because it could be a kind of leadership that exists within the community, in religious settings, in campaigns, politics, even in workplaces, and among others. In simpler sense, leadership is the ability to lead a team or a group of people to achieve a certain goal. But in a larger sense, leadership is being able to set a vision and a direction towards that vision, as well as motivate and inspire others to pursue that vision. Because when you're a leader or when you become a leader, you don't just create thousands of followers, but leaders. Because a true leadership is empowering others to become effective leaders. And that for me is leadership.
Question number 2. What makes a good leader?
A leader is someone who lead, influence, inspire, and help others to become their best selves and come out of their hidden shells. What makes someone a good leader is that he or she believe that humans are complex, humans are different, and humans have many dimensions and unique patterns of thoughts and feelings that make them human. That is why a good leader must possess a wise discernment towards the people he or she is leading. In addition, a good leader is creative, innovative, resilient, and agile. He or she may encounter rough roads, raging seas, and turbulent currents that would crush down the foundation that he or she had built for a long time. But no matter what happens, a good leader will rise up, bounce back, and build better, and has this amazing and blazing hope in his or her heart, as well as the positive outlook of what is to come. And that for me is a good leader.
Question number 3. What is the nature of leadership or administrative work in your university? And how is it crucial for the attainment of a shared goal of the institution?
In Cebu Normal University Medellin campus, the nature of leadership or administrative work is foundational as well as interpersonal and influential. For example, in our university, we have our campus director, our school administrator, who facilitates the overall function of the institution as well as the incomings and outgoings of all the students. The campus director and school administrator focuses on departmental administrators, students' welfare, and day-to-day tasks such as timetabling, arranging of events and exams, attending to some matters, specifically discussing the student and staff queries and concerns, attending and sharing to different meetings, variety of tasks, and a lot more. Also, with the help of faculty members and staffs, they guide us to accomplish a common objective while motivating, helping, and encouraging us, students, throughout the process. The aforementioned nature of leadership or administrative work is crucial for the attainment of a shared goal of the institution because without the effective leadership of the campus director or the school administrator, along with the assistance of the faculty members and staffs, all the plans, efforts, and labors will just be null and void.
Number 4. Share your opinion or thoughts on the leadership of the DepEd Secretary Briones and the national achievement of Filipino students in basic education compared to their counterparts in other countries. Do you think it is effective or not? How about the way learning is implemented in this time of pandemic? What are your recommendations to improve the situation?
DepEd Secretary Leonor Magtalis Briones' leadership on the national achievement of Filipino students in their basic education compared to their counterparts in other countries is highly and deeply appreciated because her line of work isn't smooth sailing after all. Secretary Briones supervises the entire education department and performs different functions in attaining a good quality of education. At times, her leadership is being compared to the leadership of other countries due to the low rating of Filipino students in the K-12 basic education in some learning areas. A 2018 study found that a sample number of 15-year-old Filipino students rank last in reading comprehension out of 79 countries. They also ranked 78 in science and in math. Hence, this crisis lies in the fact that some of the Filipinos can't read or do simple math. Because of this, it became a big concern to the educational system. But Secretary Briones didn't isolate herself or detach from national issues concerning education. She engages the external environment along with her constituents, and she remains collaborative and proactive, and when it comes to her decisions, it remains sound, responsive, and became beneficial to Filipino learners. As she delivered her keynote speech on the various aspects of leadership during the Second National Assembly of Education Leaders at Marriott Hotel in Pasay City, she stated that public service is not about power and getting rich. It is all about suffering physically, financially, and psychologically. It is all about the attacks from all corners. But it is also joy. The joy of introducing reforms, the joy of touching people, and the joy of teaching them new ways of thinking and of serving people. And that for me is a kind of effective leadership. When the pandemic arises, there is an abrupt shift in the modality of learning from face-to-face to online classes. The way learning is implemented in this time of pandemic is truly challenging and nerve-wracking, especially in the first phase of adjustment. Due to COVID-19, education issues in the Philippines have increased and received numerous challenges that worsened the current state of the country. With the sudden events brought by the health crisis, distance learning modes via internet and TV broadcast were ordered. Furthermore, a blended learning program was launched in October 2020, which includes online classes, printouts, and lessons broadcast on TV and other social media platforms. Thus, the new learning pathways rely on students and teachers having access to the internet. But because of this, different concerns were raised such as insufficient allowance for mobile load, lack of gadgets and resources for internet connection, struggle to focus on online classes, and parents' lack of knowledge to their kids' lessons, and a lot more. What I can recommend to improve the situation is to voice out my concerns and encourage the education heads, staffs and members, and other supporting organizations to review and update the K-12 curriculum, to implement rules and address the gaps in educational system, and provide equal access to education so that no student should be left behind. They could also respond to the biggest lingering challenge in the basic education of our country, which is the quality of learning. In addition, improving the learning environment, teachers upskilling and reskilling, as well as the engagement of stakeholders for support and collaboration are also part of my recommendations to improve the situation that the educational system is currently facing. Through quality basic education for all, learners can aim high, soar high, and make their kite of dreams fly high.